Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the October 21st, 2025 meeting of the Powell Planning Commission. I'm going to start with I'm going to call the meeting to order, and I'm going to start with a board member roll call.
Jim Winchester.
Fred Miller.
Stacy Boxer.
David Fowle.
We have nobody remotely, so it's us. We have a quorum, so we're going to continue with our meeting. Approval of agenda, which consists of approving of the minutes for October 7th. Update on the Zoom meeting security issues. Town plan review of our ideas. Some of us have done a little bit of writing on formulating the new town plan. And we just want to, compare our notes and discuss, have any discussion that comes out of that. David, you have time to discuss your attendance of other meetings. Then we'll set our next meeting agenda items and go to public comment, and then we'll adjourn. Entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve.
All in favor?
I'll
Aye. Okay,
make a motion to approve the minutes of October 7th.
Second.
any discussion? You have a minute?
Yes, you're good.
Good. Right, so, all in favor?
Aye.
Zoom meeting security issues update.
So all I have, or all I know is that it's gonna be, I think, changing to a webinar style meeting. I don't really know anything about that yet or how it's gonna be different from the Zoom.
Yeah.
But my intention is to pop in here next week, one day after I get out of work and have them show me. I'm not sure when it's gonna take over, or if it already has for some meetings, but I'll find out and we'll go from there.
I know I've participated in some webinars in the past and a pretty effective way to have a meeting. So
It looks the same as this. It just has more security options.
Now, can people still join from, like, they can join the Zoom meeting from their home computer? Can they still do that with a webinar?
But I think,
If you allow it.
there might be a way to set up, a special identity for each person for joining the meeting.
What do you mean? It's like,
Well, webinar would be like participating in a webinar.
Identify themselves.
You have a security key to get yourself into the meeting.
I think the simplest way to set it up is, when you set the meeting up, you, can identify who are the people that are in the group, us. So that if any of us need to do it from home, we can do it. And then you can put out a URL for other people to join the meeting, but when they join, they don't join till you let them in, and they can't speak until you let them speak, and they can't show their screen unless you let them show their screen. So they can still come in with a false name. We can't do anything about that.
Is there a way to have them answer a few questions?
Not prior to joining.
Security questions.
Good. What I was picturing is like, if you ever have a regular roster, like we have some regulars that join our meetings, from home, people from the community.
Yeah.
If they had a permanent ID that you come in with,
Well, and
that would be, a good way to.
I would think, like, if Jim is a regular participant, we could give him permission right up.
Yeah.
But it would still be this thing where he wouldn't be able to just
Don't
interject
come in with
himself,
like,
Yeah, and nobody can take over the screen unless you've given them permission specifically to do that.
right.
So it is possible if you had to work from home one time, you could take over the screen with her permission and show something that you wanted to show or something like that, and we'd see it here.
Yeah.
So it's pretty flexible.
Sounds like it'll be I think it'll be a pretty good system
Yeah, I think
when we get going with it. Well, our next thing is to discuss our ideas on the town plan that we've worked on.
Mhm.
You know, the stuff I did, I basically, I went through and stuff that was like redundant language, I cut it.
You started at I remember, and it wasn't in the minutes, that we sort of divided who was going to do which sections, and I wasn't sure which section. I said I would do the introduction and the vision and population,
Right.
and I don't remember which
I
section.
think I was looking for
Well, it doesn't have a section number on it now. So we don't.
some history and the schools and, maybe housing.
Maybe housing.
Yeah, I think I was. gonna do
So maybe
something about-
these, I mean, we can see where they plug in
Yeah.
down the road.
So how do I know what you took out or put in?
Well, you don't.
You don't.
Unless you compare it with the original.
Compare.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
thinking. Are we gonna do that? I mean,
We could do it that way.
otherwise we're getting each one of us liberty to write whatever we think is
Well,
appropriate.
then, yeah, but then we as a group will go over that and either agree or disagree on, or.
Well, I think.
But we don't know really know unless we're gonna compare
Oh,
it
yeah, yeah,
to the
yeah,
original,
Yeah.
what we've taken out.
yeah.
I mean, you're right, and this may be because I'm using an open office. And I sent in, I thought, the version that had the cross-offs and the rights and stuff, which is hard to look at, but at least you can see now I'm proposing we get rid of all this. And then you might say, well, yeah, most of it, but I really like this part and you want that in or something like
And
that.
I have that stuff saved as well.
Yeah,
My edits were what I deleted, what I wordsmithed a little bit on and changed a little bit, but.
so maybe that'd be the way for us to view it. I don't know.
Cut those out, the
For
original.
some reason, when I'm copying and pasting it into a new document, it's taking the page numbers off of it.
Yeah, that's normal.
And it's like giving it different, I don't know, what to even call it.
Formatting?
Yeah, maybe that's,
Yeah,
I don't know
Yeah.
what it's doing to it,
well,
but it's
I had
corrupting the
problems.
document.
I had
It's
problems
not
too.
copying and pasting identical to
Yeah.
what I had.
Well, we just have to work through that and, if we can. If formatting is wrong, it doesn't matter.
You're creating a new name to save it.
So when I was copying it off of here, I have got everything. I didn't bring the part that I can do, but like it wouldn't say 3.2.
Yeah, because that's a formatting in that document, and unless you
That's why
copy
it's not
from the
picking.
very header, which is where the formatting codes are
Ah,
hidden, then you lose those. But it doesn't matter. You can just add section 2.3.
just write it by
And then
hand.
we know it, and, I think that's a lot easier, because I tried to work within the whole document, it's just too big.
When I did, I had the document where I had like deletions and it had the areas that were, had the original text and it was all crossed off.
Right.
And it got like too much of a challenge to keep track of it, so I just like stuff that I wanted to keep,
Yeah,
I selected it, cut it, pasted it into a new document.
Yeah.
And, so I haven't not permanently altered any, the original document.
oh, the original, we all have copies of
Right,
that.
I'm not gonna touch the original. That's why I can't cut. I'm copying and pasting, I'm not cutting and pasting.
Right,
And if I cut and paste, I would take the original and I would take part of it out.
As far as the formatting, like page numbers, stuff like that, I wouldn't even worry about that,
Yeah.
for one thing, it's like.
Yeah.
So then at some point, then all of our pieces get merged onto one document and then we.
well, the BCRC do that.
What we like, get ACRC, you can proofread it all and give us suggestions from there. The alternative, I think, is
We got 11
course, just have BCRC do all of it. But
So there's 11 items here.
we want to be involved in the creation of it. Much as we can.
Well, so just in terms, I don't know how you want to use tonight then. Do we want to comment on stuff or do you want to wait until we can see it all? Like,
Well, if you had time to go over it and you had any questions on anything I did, then.
well, minor ones. I mean, I like a lot of what you got here. I wasn't exactly sure.
Yeah.
Like some of this sounded like introduction and so I'd have
Yeah.
to think about how I'd merge it in what I had with introduction and, that gets complicated.
None of that is any new writing from me.
Yeah.
I was involved years ago when they were doing this. I did a little bit of writing for it and probably, I don't remember what parts of it I wrote, what other people wrote.
Well, so because it's the first sentence, and it probably won't be the first sentence in the final document, but Pownell's a rural town situated in one of the most scenic valleys in Vermont. Pownell's got some beautiful areas in it, but I've driven all over Vermont. I've visited a lot, and there's, we're nice, but there's some spectacular areas in this state. And so I guess I just wonder if we want to say that, particularly given that, you come in from Massachusetts and it's derelict cars everywhere and, it doesn't quite ring true to me.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm thinking along the same lines as you. Talking about the valley.
Yeah.
I think a more accurate.
Say, like situated in a scenic valley
Yeah.
in Vermont instead of.
I was
A
reading,
very scenic area.
Very scenic, because it certainly is beautiful.
Yeah.
from here, it's more scenic from here. And we're outside of the valley.
And I'll tell you, from the racetrack,
We're above.
I was amazed looking at the valley
Yeah.
from inside the racetrack. It was gorgeous. And there's
Yeah.
hardly any buildings you can see anywhere.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, I would be more inclined to more accurately describe the valley itself as a narrow valley. And it's a narrow,
Mhm.
it's less than a half a mile.
Is that right?
The floor of the valley itself is from one range to the next. One range is Taconic Range and the other one's Green Mountains. But it's a narrow with a river going right down the center of it, so. It's an accurate description, but it's a narrow valley.
Yeah. And I don't need to, nitpick
Yeah.
that much.
Yeah.
Um,
But I think that can have an effect on how we approach planning for the town. Because you can only plan so much in that narrow valley. You can try to change just so much. And
Yeah.
it's not a whole lot you can do. So most of our planning involves the upper part of town.
Yeah.
The foothills and stuff like that, so.
I like your, conversation about public engagement and developing the plan, wanting the municipal board's members and the state of Vermont could come together with the planning commission to form a vision for Pownell for years to come. But isn't that what this plan that we're writing is supposed to be?
Yeah.
So that saying they could do it when we're doing it.
Right.
Seems a little confusing.
It seems like, the select board might want to be involved in that vision creation too.
Oh,
I found.
Take this and give it to the select board?
Yeah.
Are they making decisions?
Once the BCRC has done their magic, which hopefully we're gonna get grant for them to do that, then yeah, it goes, and then I believe, correct me, that there's some public comments on it too. And so there may be people or the select board may say, we want you to get rid of this or add something about that or whatever. We may have to do more work.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but that was the gist of what I got from our discussion with the select board a week or two ago.
Right.
You and I were there.
Yeah,
And it sounded like they wanted to give us a direction on what to do for the plan. And it's like, I think we have the approach where we're gonna do something and then run it by them.
Yeah.
They can give us feedback, they can give us some ideas going in that we can work on.
Yeah.
But to actually, I think to determine what your plan's gonna look like.
I don't think they want to do that.
No, okay.
But I will say, I mean, this sort of segues into the thing. I mean, I was blown away by what I heard at the Conservation Commission. There's a bunch of things going on that I knew nothing about that really impact or could impact
It
this.
should be in this plan.
And it struck me, my conclusion, and I'll go over some of the individual things, but my overall conclusion was it would probably be really good for us to put a request to all the town boards and the Historical Society and I don't know who, and just say, if there are big, things you're working on that we should be aware of, please tell us.
Oh, yeah.
And then, maybe they'll help us write some sections. But I was just amazed how much is going on that I didn't even have a clue about. And I can't write a plan from that state.
Yeah, well, I think I've heard that conversation that you were at a meeting at Conservation Commission. I'm watching it on the video. They have a lot of ideas.
Yeah.
And and I would be glad to listen to them ideas, mind the ones, but definitely make sure things kind of merge well. together.
Absolutely, that's our
Yeah.
job. Right.
Yeah.
That's what we got to do.
Yeah.
And I don't think any of those other committees want to try and write this plan.
Right.
But certainly making sure we're not missing, like, okay, for example, one of the things was I learned that they recently changed the level of acceptable PFOAs in drinking water downward.
Mhm.
And the presumption by the person on the Conservation Commission, I don't know how knowledgeable they are, but they sounded like they thought they were pretty knowledgeable, is an awful lot of the houses all the way down 346 would not pass. If they test the water and they don't pass, they can't get a loan on their house. They probably can't sell their house. I mean, this is a huge impact.
Where did this happen? Is that the? What Vermont Department is that?
Which way?
Environmental.
This would be a state environmental group. I don't know who did that and, we could find out more from them or from BCRC or whatever. But, I mean, to my mind, the fact that we may have an even bigger problem with PFOAs than we even knew, and how many people that could impact in this community.
How do we determine that?
Well, and it's not our job to do that, but it seems like making the fact that this is an issue part of, we don't solve it, but this is something that is going to take work. And it should be in.
Pownell isn't unique in this situation.
No, of course not.
Any town that's ever had a factory
Yeah,
in the town is gonna have that issue. And Vermont cannot destroy every property with regulation.
well, yeah, but then, so what do we do about what? It may be that we might need to run municipal water down to them. Where would it come? I mean, there's a cascade of questions.
I think, isn't there a radius of where the effect is more, it's stronger, closer to the factory than?
Yeah, but the wire factory was down there on 346. I don't know how far it goes, and it may be that the Conservation Commission has some of this. I don't have any idea. I mean,
That's where the
Again-
pollution came from?
Yeah, and I don't think that radius went up to where I live.
No,
Not that far.
there's another issue with the racetrack. They got such a well, it's just.
Yeah.
It's a good well.
well, that's it. But, in terms of the priorities for the town, depending on how bad this is, that might elevate that really should be kind of on our 10-year plan.
Yeah.
I'm not in a position to say one way or the other.
Putting in a water system.
Yeah.
Well, what's the purpose of them downgrading the allowable?
Presumably it's because they want if you have a young child and they're drinking water out of your tap every day, by the time they're 50, they've absorbed and are holding, because this stuff never leaves your body, enough that it's going to probably cause cancer. We don't want that. So what do we do about it? You know, and it used to be they thought you could get away with this level. Now they're saying, no, that's too much. We got to have this level. And all of a sudden now we're in this place where, oh, a lot of people are above that level.
And isn't that a state issue though? You know, I mean,
Yeah, I'd love it if they'd come and solve it.
I think they're gonna have to because it's all over the states. I mean, they all got issues.
And DuPont should come in here and,
All over the country.
oh yeah, DuPont, you know, and Teflon was the course and they knew it and they're
They're
finally,
digging up over there, you know, it's finding stuff.
yeah.
What are they carting that soil away?
Yeah, they're gonna put new soil in.
I mean, dumpster after dumpster, they were
Yeah.
taking the soil away.
They're finding a lot of
Where
stuff.
are they putting that soil?
I don't know.
Okay.
That's another issue.
Put it in
Somebody needs
fill
fill,
landfill.
somebody needs fill in there.
The landfill, that's a mess too. They're going over there. So they're still working on that.
Well, when you think about the whole thing, that narrow valley,
Hmm?
you got the stacks, putting the stuff out, then it's landing it on slopes, then in the rain, washing it down to the river and it's going down the river.
Yeah.
You know. A lot of it, I'm not sure how much of it actually has time to get into the soil.
I don't know.
Yeah,
They don't know either.
this is beyond our
Yeah,
expectation
it's-
and it's not our problem, thank God.
Yeah.
But,
It's an issue.
making people aware of it as a problem, that should be.
Well, as far as like.
Should be.
A whole lot of additional new housing.
Right,
Might be a problem.
exactly.
Like,
Yeah,
I was there.
it's an issue. I mean, you don't do anything without water.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
I really appreciated your rewrite of the history because there was a lot there I didn't know.
Yeah.
So I'm trusting that you're accurate. I don't know. But I certainly liked it.
I consult as like, there's a historical gazetteer with some anecdotal history and, Grace Graylight Niles.
Yeah.
A lot about.
He owns a lot of land.
Berkshires and all that.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of interesting history.
There is.
Oh, had some really.
I've seen a lot of land. I bought land from him. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so. I like the idea of having an overview of the history of the town.
Mhm.
We don't need to make a whole lot out of it, but,
That
I
could
want
be-
to expand the history of the school. I want to talk about that quite a bit.
Huh? So then maybe that's kind of part of the introduction. Is the history.
Yeah. I made a chapter or a heading. History of Pownell schools. I didn't do any much of writing on that. But I think I need to, go over what the meeting with Cindy and Nelson gave us and start kind of expressing some of the history of the town.
Yeah.
I know that property there was given for $1.
Yeah.
Back in the fifties, I think just before I was born, I think.
Yeah.
But so,
Yeah. I know my kids went to down there.
Yeah.
On some.
Yeah. Yeah, we had the schools, we had the several schools.
Yeah.
I'd like to mention stuff like that.
Yeah.
And actually, I was thinking we should mention the Head Start program in there
Oh, yeah.
because they have a very active Head
Yeah.
Start program. That's great.
That's an asset.
Yeah.
And also, definitely I want to describe these things as an asset.
Yeah.
Another thing I wanted to touch on, is a new topic maybe. But it has to do with housing and housing shortages, stuff like that. And there are some, I don't know if you would call them derelict properties.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Deteriorating, some have actually been coming down recently. There was one up on Bannister Hill that they took down and
Mhm.
the one, Houston's house.
Yep.
Up by the railroad tracks.
Yeah.
There's
That's
still
gonna be
more.
rebuilt though, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then there's there's others that are just sitting vacant, unutilized or underutilized and have a discussion.
Yeah,
in the
there's a lot of people that own land.
Yeah,
vacant houses.
Yeah.
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 Well,
So
our
there's-
population is declining again. It isn't steady.
Yeah.
That map that BCRC for that chart showed that.
Yeah, but that's still housing stock that's not even being occupied or used.
Right.
By
And
anybody.
it's probably, you know, questionable whether it'd be cheaper to try to put it back into good shape or to take it down and
Take it
build
down.
something new. I don't know.
Depends on water, depends on septic, why they leave it. If it's valuable, why left it, you know? We don't know that personally, but
So could we suggest incentives or disincentives for a vacant house for years?
Is that, well, I suppose we can suggest anything. I'm assuming that's sort of select board stuff, not ours.
So I'm not
Maybe.
sure if that.
Is the vacant house that you're talking about, are they paying taxes? Are the taxes?
Yeah, and I don't know at what rate, you know, if they're paying as a homestead and it's not being used as a homestead. As a second home, are they paying that as a second home or are they just?
Yeah, because eventually if they're not paying taxes, the town can take the property, but then they own a derelict house.
Yeah.
Which is, I think the town is
they don't,
really interested in.
it's
Yeah,
like a derelict trailer.
Fully auction it off.
yeah, but it seems like, at least my intuition is our role is to point out the issues. And then the select board has to deal with figuring out the policy around them.
Yeah. But yeah, but just, you know, my question is, should we go there? You know, because, you know, there's property rights.
It's a can of worms.
Yeah, you have the right to do what you want with your property or not. But there's also, we hear about a housing shortage. We hear about eyesores, we hear about a lot of stuff, and nothing is ever addressed officially from the government.
From our select board,
Yeah,
yeah,
and
yeah, it's above my pay grade.
A lot of banks own property here too. They just sitting on it.
And do they pay the taxes just to keep it
Yeah.
current?
Yeah.
So then there's nothing we can do,
What are
really.
they paying a tax on it? Are they paying it
They're paying the tax on it, yeah, like.
as a homestead or as a?
Well, Turnabeans, for example, up there, he just paid the bank the money every month.
Yeah.
Till he died.
Yeah.
He lived up there.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
people I know, hey, it's quite a bit.
Well, and I would assume, particularly given that we're a narrow valley, that the land is worth something, even if the house isn't. And over time, probably it gets to be worth more. So, you know, it may be that we're not at that tipping point yet, but there may come a time when buying these properties and, you know, refurbishing what's refurbishable and tearing down what isn't, will become an activity. Did you see the story in the Banner about that?
I love this story. They bought a lot of properties.
Up in Fairleigh, there's a
Oh,
contractor
yes.
who's rebuilding old warehouses and
Family
stuff.
thing,
and-
yeah.
Yeah, and, you know, it's putting up 22 units or something in some factory or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, good for him.
A lot of old properties are being bought in Bennington, you know? This
Yeah.
is phenomenal. It is a mess.
Yeah, so, well, future meetings with, people, we had Nelson and Cindy. They suggested the superintendent of the school, so we meet with them, so I think that would be a good thing for us to do, talking.
Yeah, I guess I could use more clarity on, you know, how far are we supposed to go with, let's say, the school, for example? I mean, we know it's an asset. We can say all this, blah, blah. We have the general indication that they don't think it's going to go away in the foreseeable. Do we have to do more about that, or does that give us what we need to know?
I still think it's a good idea to zone that as a school campus.
And I'm not opposed to that at all. That again, wouldn't be our work.
I would
but
be interested to know who would be opposed to that, because,
yeah,
you know,
I mean, we will be doing, rewriting the zoning stuff. That's now comes after this.
Yeah. I heard enough from Cindy and Nelson to further convince me that that is a very valuable asset to this town. And it's a must-have
Yeah.
asset for this town.
And,
So,
yeah, it didn't seem, I didn't hear anything that made me fear for it going away.
School in every community, and it's like, and they can make all kinds of different acts all they want to, but they should not be taking that away. They shouldn't be taking that school away from anybody.
And I didn't hear that that was an
Someone's
expectation.
gonna lose their,
What's that?
the town.
Yeah.
What do they have to take fewer students?
But we have a lot of students.
Yeah, they-
And you, there's only one direction you can bus them, and that's too far.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it seems like we're probably okay there. Now, that doesn't mean we shouldn't zone it to school. I'm not opposed to that at all. But I didn't hear any like red flags.
Right.
So, again, I don't know how far, what our role is. I feel like, history, gosh, I'd love to run it by, the House of Local History people and stuff like that. I bet there's.
Well, part of the purpose of the town plan is almost like a marketing document. It's a marketing.
Is it? Okay.
Too. So we're marketing the town as we have this asset and this asset, and this is an important part of the community, stuff like that, and.
Yeah.
It's like just little selling points.
Okay, well, that's really useful because that changes how you write stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
okay.
I do remember when the current plan was at an early stage, it seemed like it was very diagnostic and prescriptive.
Mhm.
And it seemed like there was just talking about a lot of problems and solutions, and that's where the history thing came in. It's like, we have to give this town a heartbeat, because it's more than the series of problems that we're diagnosing. It's, this town has always had a heartbeat. There's a community here that,
Pretty well spread out though.
yeah,
Well, I think in terms of marketing,
Yeah.
that gives you kind of,
an identity.
right, it gives you a nice starting place.
Yeah.
It doesn't talk at all about what direction we're going, which is the ultimate idea of this plan, but this is where we're coming from.
Yeah.
That's useful.
Yeah.
You still got the big parks, down there and over here. 40, probably there's 75, 80 trailers down there. And you can't see them, only see a few, but there's 54 in that one park.
Yeah.
And there's 24 in the other.
I haven't.
Fuzzy Meadows and
I'm sure you hear.
Crossing and
Yeah,
they're all over.
Yeah.
A lot of trailers.
What's it looking like down there now?
not looking good at all. Not looking good at all. I don't see how they make the winter, to be honest with some of them.
So.
At Cozy Meadow?
No, here. Alta.
So what's wrong there?
It is still a water problem that they had?
No, they're on the town. They're on the town now.
Yeah, okay.
They weren't on it, but they're on it. But it's just 60s trailers, 70s
Oh, yeah.
trailers.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just wearing out.
They weren't.
And they can't put a new one in there because they don't make them. And they don't want to give up the spot. So they just patch them up.
Yeah.
Patch them up
The
and patch them up.
buildings themselves are collapsing.
That's Vermont, that's Vermont itself,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's like these things are obviously, they've got to go.
They got to go eventually. We'll have to pick them up though. They just leave, just leave old people.
They make it so difficult to get rid of one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's something they got to deal with later on, but we've had bad history with it. No one wants to touch it.
Well, I had hopes for Powell Estates. That the new management was gonna be able to do
Yeah.
something.
You know what? Read the paper today, someone said, I hope the racetrack bites. The racetrack, Williams would be a good place. There's a lot of people against Williams, I'm saying, but
What would Williams do with it?
they're running out of space badly over there. They could use the space, practice fields. A lot of kids believe that's a natural place to go fishing and hunting, and that was a study they did.
Yeah.
And even concerts, summer concerts. Like no Lollapaloozas or anything like that, but
Well, that's again, the narrow valley. when people are always saying, let's have another big one, let's have ZZ Top and all this stuff, and as I'm thinking, I live on one of those slopes.
Oh, I
And
know.
I don't, the acoustics would be.
You know, there's a lot of light concepts though, you know,
Yeah.
there's a lot of little concepts, but, and my kids go.
Maybe we'll find something out on January 7th.
We'll see, we'll see who shows up.
And the last person bought it for $250,000.
Yeah.
You know. And still gotta deal with the track.
You know, it wasn't as bad as I mean, inside the place, it's all.
Oh, yeah, that-
The place, but there weren't the piles I was expecting. I don't know if somebody's cleaned it up or what, but it wasn't that
It
terrible.
wasn't that bad. The only area that burned was down in the wood area
Yeah,
and it went into the cellar. But basically upstairs is good, solid, big steel beams, whatever.
the steel beams are falling down now.
Well, I last time.
Yeah.
I-
The back of the building, there are these, 3-story tall steel beams that then have the paneling between them.
Yeah.
And half of them have fallen down onto the
Really?
ground.
Yeah.
It's, the roofs are caved in places and,
Oh, yeah. I don't know why the towers don't come down, to be honest with you. The elevated towers on the two sides.
Oh,
yeah, I mean, those are cinder block, fairly small things, so they probably are gonna last longer than anything else.
Yeah,
Uh,
you'll see. We'll see.
does that whole solar field go along with the property?
It's on the property and there are 3 separate parcels. And I saw a map that had lines drawn as if one was the stuff that's to the east of the railroad track. Some acreage, I can't remember. And then they had a line around the solar field.
Yeah.
And then they had everything else. But then the description of the property, it sounds like they've got a 6-acre parcel at the north end of it. And so I don't know what's up.
Well, it's all grown up now.
Well, yeah, but there's 3 parcels and
Yeah,
I
well-
want to see what's where and,
It's over 140 acres.
Yeah,
3
104 acres.
Yeah.
And,
The
there's
other side of the track too.
a right of way for the railway and there's another right of way for something else. And then there's the lease of the land for the solar, which I guess transfers and,
We don't know how that works. I don't know who owns it. It never was put on there for subdivided or anything like that.
so.
Just put there and in the barn area, fenced off, locked. Cause the guy with the,
I went into the cemetery and somebody's got an American flag hanging on a nice pole. They put up a nice new
beautiful cemetery.
thing that says, for our veterans and
Yeah.
somebody's mowing it, taking care of it.
It's taken care of. The Legion takes care of it.
Legion does.
Put flags on it every year and do things like that.
It looked.
They take care of all the cemeteries. I've done it.
Where's that? Okay.
It's tucked in right next to the railroad track, just in between the railroad track and the solar field.
Okay.
You get down there and you couldn't find it. And I know where it's at, but then you see the part that's mowed.
Right.
And you walk in there and turn right.
Can't read any of the
Oh, no,
zooms or anything.
no. And there's still a couple old barns full of tires down there.
So should we do anything else on these here or how do you want to approach this?
When you get Stacy, you can just send us what you wrote.
Well, I didn't write anything. I just started taking things off.
Oh, yeah, okay, so that's, we're probably in the same place.
Like there's a table here.
Yeah.
Proportion of panel residents by major occupation groups.
Yeah.
This was in 2015. It's not gonna be
Right.
current anymore, and I'm not sure
Yeah.
we really need
We
a
don't think we-
chart like
I
that.
don't think the plan needs us. All the statistics.
Somebody that's coming to move into this town, that's gonna look at this town plan, I don't think they're gonna go through graphs and charts and.
Well, particularly if you want that information, you call up BCRC and they'll give it to you.
Sure.
It's
Right,
available.
they got
You
it.
don't have to put it.
Right, you've got a libraries
It's
and things like that.
They'll pick out what they want and
So I think a lot of these charts can come out of here.
Yeah, I'm interested in, I'd like to see trends more than numbers, how many people do this. It's like we have Is farming growing or shrinking? Is manufacturing growing or shrinking? Is the population age getting older or younger? You know,
An answer.
trends are to me tell much more of a story than
Yeah.
sorts of stuff.
I'm not sure we're gonna be able to get that without going to the.
No, BCRC will do that.
They got,
That's what I was, I mean, they gave me that nice population thing.
I think where we're at. I think we've all got ideas. Playing around with stuff that we're not really creating much of a document right now. But
Well, I tried to for the first three sections, not that they can't do significant editing, but at least to lay out a framework.
we're gonna have a meeting with BCRC in November.
Okay,
Okay, and we can, I think part of that is that they wanted to see what we could use help with.
They want to discuss the town plan.
Yeah, so I think that's where we can get ourselves a redirection on this thing,
great.
you know, re-energize ourselves a little bit on it and, you know, maybe, I'd like to see what, you know, what help they can give us without a grant. You know, that
Well, we're
they
supposed to
do
do everything
everything.
grant anyway.
that's where the grant's pretty much on the way.
But what's their role as a regional commission? Are they to give us a hand?
They just sit
anyway?
there and do, you know,
We have to hire them every time they give us.
no, they'll show up every week.
Yeah.
And someone will and discuss things.
Yeah.
You know, as you said earlier, there's so many groups at the Historical Society.
Oh, yeah.
You know, they all got ideas and they're all,
Yeah.
you know, at some point, if we got in this room, we'd go crazy.
We'll go, yeah.
Just,
Yeah.
dip, 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 dip. Everybody's got a plan for Powell.
Well, and we're the keepers of the plan.
That's what I say, yeah.
And so that's fine,
Yeah.
but if, you know, the Historical Society could read the part you wrote and say, yeah, but you left out this. Oh, I didn't know about that. That's great. You know, so I think using those resources that we have in the community, like you said right in your introduction, that's great.
What I wrote down is the BCRC. Meet with the zoning administrator. With. To discuss. Zoning. In the town, if he's finding challenges with it, what his suggestions might be.
And that's on our agenda, but that was on our agenda when I first joined this committee, and then I was told, okay, we got to put that off to the
Yeah,
side and do
that's
this
correct.
first.
Right.
So I think we're gonna come back to zoning once we can get this up. like that.
Zoning is like. I wanted to have a discussion with him. About the zoning, he's getting involved in stuff in town.
Oh, yeah.
What's he seeing, what he recognizes as a need,
Mhm.
something that we should
Are
do.
you talking about Mike?
Yeah,
I'd rather.
I think the governor kind of threw some stuff in there when he made a statement about throwing out everything. Let's do it.
Yeah.
And I think he was talking about Act 250.
And there were a lot of specifics in that study for,
Yes.
you know, the village district, which I thought were really good. And I think we could probably recommend moving forward with a bunch of those.
Yep.
Not everything, but, you know. This is probably a good time for me to bring in then. One of the things that I heard about at this Conservation Commission meeting is that the state of Vermont is doing a community resiliency program.
Mhm.
And the first one of these things is going to be held in Pownell. And the whole idea is they bring in experts that are looking at your water, your sewer, your fire prevention, your, you know, floods, your, all this stuff. And they do assessments and help you identify what are the priority things that are a problem.
Yeah.
To me, this sounds like everything I want to do. They haven't set a date yet. So this will probably be in the spring. I don't know, but I mean, there's something coming. And it sounds like it fits exactly into the work that we should be doing to identify what are the high priority things.
Brownfields, you know,
Yeah.
a lot of stuff he's backing off a little bit on. They wouldn't be down here digging this up if, you know, for us.
Say again?
No, I say they wouldn't be digging here for us personally. They want to know what's there A man bought it, he's gonna put in dairy bar. They stopped him from doing it because it's polluted. Now they're digging it up. He was gonna give it to the fireman.
Right, no.
I know,
The specific,
now he's gonna sell it.
but
It gets right. So all that stuff's going on, we don't know what the hell's going. It's not gonna use out there, that's wet, right there. Right there.
But as I understand it, beyond helping you identify the things, they also bring in expertise to help you figure out how to attend to it.
Mhm.
This is a gift, as far as I'm concerned.
There is.
What organization is this?
It's called the Community Resiliency Program. It's something the state is doing, and I don't know what organization specifically does it.
It's run by the state.
Yes.
Okay.
So I can find out more about it. Obviously, the racetrack. I mean, how long have we been talking about the
Oh,
racetrack?
God.
But all of a sudden, before this report is launched, it's gonna have a new owner probably.
Sure. And we don't know what,
We don't know.
who's going in.
But, you know, we should have some goals of what we would like to see happen. I mean, like you say, the water is really,
It's
probably something that we would like to have access to.
right.
So maybe that might be something we put in here and saying, you know, trying to secure access to at least one of those good wells would probably be in the town's interest.
Yeah.
Whether we can afford it or not, whether it'd be a gift, I don't know, but,
I don't know either.
so.
Run a line to it.
So that property is up to date as far as taxes.
Yeah, that's what I learned. The bank has been paying the taxes. They're not putting up the fences, but they're paying the
It's
taxes.
supposed to be fences up.
So,
We can't foreclose on it now.
but the
And
state.
I don't want to.
But the state is.
Oh, fences don't do any good.
No, the bank is auctioning it off.
They got a mortgage
Yeah.
and the mortgage people are letting it
How
go.
much can the mortgage be if they bought it for 250?
Oh, it's not much.
No, it's no big deal.
So, what's her name? Wendy, that I walked the land with today, was saying, she was talking to people, and there's some places that it might go for negative $500,000.
Mhm.
They might pay you $500,000 to take the liability off their hands because the liability is
Absolutely.
2 million. You know?
So it's not gonna go through a lot.
No,
No.
you want it?
Yeah, I 10,000, yeah.
Well, maybe the town can get it.
I think the mortgage
I would want it.
upwards of
It's
a
a
million.
huge liability.
I don't think.
And there's so much work that would have to be done to make it safe so nobody kills themselves
Yeah.
playing around in there.
A fence is not gonna work.
No, they'll climb right over.
That's the joke. And they put.
But the only thing about a fence is that you put the fence up, you put no trespassing, then if somebody goes over it, it's
Shame on
their
it.
fault.
Shame on. Yeah.
Yeah, and if somebody gets hurt, you know, the town has done what's required, and, but that's a big area to fence.
A huge area that is.
Yes.
Yeah.
So anyway,
I don't think anybody bid on it either.
PFOAs, the racetrack, community resiliency program, and then, evidently, the Conservation Commission is working with a forester now. We heard this at the, select board meeting. They're already working with a forester to identify the best uses to do a forest management plan. And, you know, this is something that the select board was saying they would like to see happen. Well, it's already happening.
And for the benefit of harvesting timber to offset taxes.
Right. And that's what they have to determine. I mean, it's very steep. So getting much good lumber off of there would probably be expensive, but I'm sure there's some areas they could, and whether it makes sense or not, I don't.
You know, that resiliency study. I'm not sure where I fall on that, how I feel about it. I don't know enough about it, what the purpose of it is.
Well, if you think about resiliency,
Did it open up a can of worms?
What their mission is, what their purpose is, what are they doing?
well,
Are they getting
I can only-
money and spending it?
I don't have any direct information, so I can only guess. But, to me, I mean, I was an environmental studies
Yeah.
person. And to me, resiliency means if the flood comes, what's what's the weakest link?
And we have,
Think about how-
we have an emergency management plan.
Mhm,
We have a coordinator for that,
mhm.
for FEMA. So I don't know if we need, go beyond that or not.
Yeah, I don't know anything about the specifics.
Yeah.
was an
I
area.
always got Vermont with their programs. I really have, because it's like,
Every town's built by a river and it gets right down by them, historically wipes them out.
Mhm.
But I think in Williamstown, where the motel there, that closed up, would take a lot of water.
The orchards?
No. The, not the orchards, right there in the town with the lions.
Oh, the spruces, the park, the trailer park.
Yeah, trailer park.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would take a lot of water. Which would not come to Pownell. I mean, it's laid out where it would come in there and just take out, and plus the fact, I think the water gets to a certain point and it hits up to Terry Pollard's. It turns and goes up there to his land.
Yeah.
So there's some things,
Why didn't they put trailers in there?
They did.
they did, they took them out.
Why didn't they have to remove everything?
Got bought up by the,
The 90% of the trailers were uninhabitable. They were filled with mold.
yeah,
And so they took them down and then they built that
doggy park, so to speak.
yeah,
It's a doggy park.
yeah, they built apartments and made them affordable apartments for people. And it's a nice place.
Nice place, that's beautiful. Hey, they're gonna build some things there,
Now we have a park. Jamestown has a nice park.
Well, they got up a full field, the doggy park was there, the dogs sit there. Williamstown does a nice job.
Yeah, in many ways. I mean, it's nice when you have a lot of money.
Yeah,
so I think we're
money walks and tip,
about at a point where we're on to setting our next meeting agenda.
Yeah.
The first week in November is election.
Yeah, November 4th is election day, so this room typically is occupied until 7 o'clock.
So I think, but after that, that's when we're meeting with GCRC.
The 8th.
So we'll let that be our official meeting, I guess, for
Yeah, and they requested like
There's
45
that.
minutes.
18th, which was it?
So we'll just skip the fourth?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, BCRC requested 45 minutes, so I figure with their 45 minutes and then any questions
Yeah.
you guys have for them for discussion,
Yeah.
that'll be your
Yeah.
hour right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. So that's on the 18th, you said?
That is the 18th, yeah.
Okay. And the agenda item would be meeting with BCRC.
Wow.
18th. Yep. Yeah, long way off.
We'll just stick with that, the agenda item.
Okay. So should I work on this and pick another section? Since we have all this.
What section were you with?
I was 3.2,
Which is what?
economic development.
Economic development. Okay. You can even put your own thoughts in, on that.
Because then it goes into 3.3, economic development goals, objectives,
Yeah.
actions.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you can copy that stuff, and put it in a document, add your own thoughts into it. Save it as a document and share that with us.
Okay.
And you don't have to like select these things and delete them, just select everything else and without them, copy them and paste them into a document. And then save it with different names, so you know.
Should we go on with other sections or should we wait until after we've met with BCRC to?
I think I plan on wait until we, yeah, I might play around a little bit with the school,
Mhm.
thoughts on the school, take some notes and start developing narrative, but as far as pulling the thing together, I know that all of a sudden the select board's anxious about it. That I don't think we're approaching it as that urgent. Where we need to be anxious about it. And we don't need to hurry through it. Just get it done.
before disaster hits. Yeah, I assume, BCRC has done this a lot of times before. I've never done it.
Yeah.
So they probably have a sense of goes from here to here, and here's the steps, and if they lay that out to us, great, I'll plug in and.
They worked with the town of Bennington.
We work with all
Complete, right?
the county towns. Okay. Well, that's our next meeting.
Okay, so. Public comment,
None,
done? You have any comments?
I don't have anything, thank you. No.
Is that the only meeting we're having in November?
Yes.
Just the 18th?
And then it comes December and
Yeah,
We have New Year soon.
New Year. Go fast.
wonder,
2026.
Somebody just got to adjourn.
December would fall on the 2nd and 16th. That's probably okay. Yeah.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
Aye.
Aye.